guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A. So I had put up a question sticker on Instagram a few days ago and I'm just going to be answering a bunch of questions here. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, then please keep on watching. Now without any further ado, let's get right into it. So generally I get a lot of questions about health and fitness, but thankfully this time I have a bunch of questions that are a little bit more personal, a little bit away from what I generally tend to do. So the first question that I'm going to answer is my sun sign / moon sign. Okay, so my horoscope according to like my birthday is Capricorn. So I'm born on the 11th of January 1996. So I am a Capricorn, but according to my Patrika, for those of you who know what that is, I am a Leo. So yeah, I'm a Capricorn Leo. The second question I have here is, how was your hostel life? So I actually studied in Pune for 4 years. I was in MIT, I did computer engineering there, and for 1 year I was in the hostel within the campus itself. And I must say that hostel life teaches you a lot. It was the first time that I had ever stayed out of home, and it really did teach me a lot. There was I would say this steep curve in which you have to adapt to things that you're not used to. We had a common washroom, so all of us had to go there, line up and get garam pani. वो सिर्फ सुबह आता था. There was like I think a few hours जिसमें you'd get hot water and people would go and put their buckets like hours before it would start. My sleeping habits were so bad while I was in college. I used to like take a bath in the afternoons with cold water because I just couldn't get up early enough. Apart from that, I would say hostel food took me some time to adjust to. It didn't, like my stomach didn't do very well on it, so then I ended up ordering from out a lot, and that had its own set of problems. So I don't want to be sitting here and complaining too much. I think hostel life is great and it teaches you how to be independent, wash your own dishes, wash your own clothes, just fend for yourself, and it is an experience that everyone should go through. Okay, the next question I have is favorite movie genres. So I am a full-on, chick flick, rom-com kind of a gal. I really enjoy those kind of movies. Definitely not a horror person. I mean, I like watching horror, but I'm also very, very scared of it. So I am one of those people who has to watch it in broad daylight, and uske baad I have to watch Tom and Jerry or something to calm myself down before I sleep. Otherwise, I will guaranteed have nightmares. I also like movies that are based around friendship. The next question I have is pretty interesting. It says, if you were not in the fitness industry, what would you be professionally? I think as a child growing up, I had a lot of interest in aerospace. It used to fascinate me, like right from when I was in primary school. We used to have these book fairs from time to time, and I would always pick out, books that taught me about space. And that's why I think since then I always saw myself becoming like an aeronautical engineer or something like that. And it's a long shot, but at some point when I was a kid, I was like, one day I'm going to work in NASA. It was one of those things, and like once I got to college, I realized like I loved physics till I was in 10th standard, okay, and I was pretty good at it. And then 11th onwards, my interest in the subject started fading, and I realized that I wasn't that great at it either. So I don't think I would be an aeronautical engineer. If I wasn't in the fitness industry, I think I would still be an entrepreneur. I've always wanted to do something of my own, but I did have a lot of interest in clothing, like maybe coming up with my own clothing line, perhaps athleisure, that's something that is still at the back of my mind. Who knows, maybe that will work out sometime in the future. The next question I have is, how did you meet Tarun? So Tarun and I actually met in college. He was my senior when I was in first year, he was in final year. Even though we were in different departments, we met because of basketball. He's an absolute pro at basketball, and his team back then was super good. Like they were at the peak of their game, and I remember going to the court and being so terrified of even speaking to these people because they just seemed so intimidating, right? And we didn't really communicate much until my third year when he started coming back to actually coach our team, and that's where we hit it off. The next question I have is, how did you find your passion in fitness? What will you tell people who have not found their passion? First thing I'll tell people who have no idea what it is that excites them is it's okay. I think for the first 2-3 years of my engineering life, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I think computer engineering is seen as the future, and there are a lot of jobs in that realm, and that's why my parents decided to guide me towards that, which is completely fine. Like, there's nothing wrong on their end. But when I was in it, I hated it, and I knew that this wasn't what I was good at. It wasn't something that I enjoyed, and it definitely wasn't something that I saw myself doing. That being said, I had no idea what I wanted to do. Fitness also came by accident. 2016, my dad takes me to the gym, and I have never looked back since. And I know this statement is overly simplified. Of course, I had to put in a lot of work to consistently show up every day to the point where it became a habit for me. At the same time, I started following all these, YouTubers, and all of that sort of fueled my passion towards fitness, because I was surrounding myself, not literally but virtually surrounding myself with people who I looked up to, who were in the industry, and that sort of influenced my thinking as well. And even then, for the first few years, I had no idea how I was going to make it a career. Of course, there's a lot of influencer culture that was present even back then, and I didn't know whether I'd be able to make it in that area, or whether I didn't even know if there were other careers in this industry. Like, now, after so many years, I do know what the different paths are that you can go on, but it took time. I kept trying, right? I kept trying out different things to figure out what worked for me, and that's when it clicked. I said, I want to be a coach. I want to have knowledge in this industry. For me, just putting out workouts and motivation just wasn't enough. Like, there was a fire within me that said, I want more, and that's why I went out there and got my certifications. So if you are someone who has no idea what you want to do, just keep trying different things, is what I would say. Whatever it is that brings you joy, just keep doing it until you figure out a way to make that a career. And sometimes that can be risky. Of course, it is taking a big leap of faith. So I wouldn't say leave your current job and just jump right into that, but figure out a way that you can create a side business on that passion before you jump into that full-fledged. But definitely take action and take it today. The next question I have is in fact fitness related, and that is how to grow the peach. In order to grow your glutes, the first thing that I'm going to tell you is probably not something you want to hear. Like, for most women, this is not something they want to hear, and that is, you need to eat in a surplus and you have to gain weight. And sometimes this comes as a trigger point for a lot of people. They're like, no, I don't want to gain weight, I want to be as skinny as possible, but I want to have glutes. So in order to grow muscle, you need to be eating in a surplus. My recommendation would be to find a program that works for you. Maybe you can find a free program. Maybe you want to invest in a coach so that the whole thinking process is taken away from you and you can focus on execution and just consistently show up. Lift heavy. You're not going to get that bum by doing cardio. You're going to have to lift heavy, and it will be the best thing you'll ever do, trust me. And it will take time. Building muscle is no easy feat. Just keep going every single day. Make that choice, and think about where you want to be 6 months from now, 1 year from now. The decision you make today, every single day, the action that you take is going to lead you to that goal or take you further away from it. So then it all comes down to execution, and that choice is yours. The next question I have is, what was your school life like? Best values or life skills you learned back then? Okay, so all of my primary schooling was done in Singapore in a school called Bukit View Primary School. It was a very small, not very well known school when I joined it in my first standard or primary 1. And by the time I left in primary 6, it was doing really, really well in terms of academics, co-curriculars, all that stuff. And till date, I think that was the school that made me. I think right from primary 1, it was a school that gave me a lot of exposure. They gave me the platform to sort of go out there and do what I wanted to do. And they used to have these competitions like poetry recitation, and I took part in that and I won. And then they had the same thing again in primary 2, and I took part again, and I was always in the top 3. So right till primary 6, I was always participating in these things that required me to speak on a public platform, and I got so comfortable at doing it that it's just crazy to think about it, and every time I won a competition, it just built my self-esteem even more. And I had these wonderful teachers who were backing me through it all. And apart from public speaking, I was also very actively involved in co-curricular activities. So I took part in a co-curricular activity called Indian dance. In Indian dance particularly, we learned a lot of Bharatnatyam. So I did that for 7 years. We took part in a lot of national level competitions, and we used to come back with, once I think we came back with a bronze, and then we came back with a silver, and then we came back with a gold. And in my secondary education, my secondary school, which was Raffles Girls Secondary School, we managed to get gold with honors, which is like the highest level. So it was great, sort of building that way up, even in terms of dance. It gave me that confidence. And also I played netball. So for those of you who are not familiar with it, it is similar to basketball, except you can't dribble the ball. You can only pivot and pass, and there are 7 players per side, and you have restrictions in terms of how much of the court you can travel. I was a center player there, so I was pretty much traveling up and down, but I couldn't shoot. So there are a lot of rules involved there, but I really enjoyed playing netball as well. There too, we took part in zonal competitions, and it was great. So I think the exposure that I got in BVPS was insane, and I was backed by teachers, not only because I was good at co-curriculars, but I was also a very focused student. I would say throughout my school life, I was very competitive. I would always try to be in the top ranks, and I worked hard, and I managed to do that, throughout my primary school. So those 6 years that I spent in Bukit View Primary School have made me who I am. They have made me confident. They have made me have this love for sports and dance and performing. It's just one of the things that I will never ever forget. Till date, I am in touch with one of my primary school teachers. Every time I'm in Singapore, I visit her. I'm even in touch with my primary school principal, so I do ping her once in a while on Facebook and stuff. I think it's really nice that being in that foreign country, I received a lot of love. I think what I learned from that schooling experience was leadership, because I was in prefectorial roles all throughout. In fact, I was head prefect in primary 6, and it taught me so much at such a young age, and I feel very, very blessed to have gone through that experience. Alright guys, so I'm going to end this Q&A here. It was super fun, just sitting out here and speaking my heart out. I think you all asked me great questions, and if you enjoyed watching this video, please let me know so I can do more of these Q&As. I know that educational content is great, but once in a while, maybe you enjoy watching things like this. So let me know what you want to see more of in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button so you never miss another video from me again. Alright guys, so that's it for today. I will see you in the next one. Bye!